I was roaming around in Liyue looking out for some new chests to hunt like usual. It has been my main focus of the game, so I get as close to AR40 as possible when the update comes out. Which is very soon, and I am equally very excited. But actually I was just looking for some excuses to start the game again and listen to the beautiful soundtracks of the area. But chests are important. I still need to get that annoying achievement with that good looking name card I'm never going to use. Because, let's be real, who wants to use this when you can have this? God, it just looks so amazing with all the elements and the colors and... Well, now that I think about it, what even is that element? I know it's called the Dendro element and it has something to do with nature and plants, but who uses it and how does it work? You know what? Let's go on a little investigation, shall we? We don't have anything to do anyway, so we might as well make our own quest. So, let's go. First, I want to take a closer look at the Dendro slime, which should be our primary source of information, since slimes in this game seem to be this really dense and pure form of energy that dictates how the elements work in this world. When it comes to the behavior, the Dendro slimes have a really interesting one. It is different from every other slime in the game. It hides in the ground and has a huge area to trigger aggro. Sometimes you just casually walk around and hear the battle music even though the slimes are very far away. The other slimes, however, randomly appear from the ground or just live their lives in their territory, only attacking you when you are getting closer. Especially interesting is that the Dendro slimes are unlikely to attack you when they are alone. They just wait for you to turn your back to them and then get away from you once they have the chance. Funnily enough, they go crazy on you when they are in the group. Setting them on fire causes them to panic and run around in fear, but the fire also causes them to lose the Dendro element, which in turn makes them behave like a normal slime. Given all this, it seems like the Dendro element is some sort of state that massively influences the slime's behavior, going from a timid or even anxious creature to a carefree elemental blob. So, then I was asking myself, how do the elements react? So far, only Pyro can react with Dendron, causing the state of burning. All the other elements simply add on top of Dendron without any further effects. That makes them similar to Geoslimes, which aren't really affected by other elements as well, but can crystallize themselves for some resistance. So, where else do we see the element? To me, it is very confusing that we have no character with Dendro element, because it doesn't seem that the world lacks any Dendro energy. Even some hilichurls can use this element to create some spiky wooden barriers, and the big ones even casually dig up Dendro slimes to create a shield, and the big Dendro slimes are constantly creating small ones. With all the information we got from a little quest, we can assume that the Dendro element is going to be a more complex one, similar to Geo. It will probably focus a lot on creation and reproduction of some sorts. That would explain why it is not in the game yet, as well as it would be more difficult to implement this element. In order to have a better imagination of how this element could look like, I tried to categorize the elements into groups and came up with something like this. Hydro, Pyro, and Electro are the most reactive elements out of all of them and fit into a triangle of sensitive elements, in quotations. Cryo, Geo, and Dendron could then form their own triangle of status elements, with Cryo affecting your enemy, Geo affecting yourself, and Dendro affecting your environment. Although you could argue that Cryo is a sensitive element as well, because it reacts with almost everything, but to me the emphasis is more on the debuffs than the actual damage, therefore making it more fitting of status. And lastly, we have Anemo, which is its very own category, because it somehow reacts with nothing, but also with everything at the same time. Swill is more about becoming the element rather than reacting with it, if you get what I mean. Something that is also interesting to note is the loading screen, because it seems to sort the elements in a similar way, although Anemo is sort of in between all of these reactive elements. Maybe it's a coincidence, but I just thought it was fun to point out because it is supporting my point, but it could be completely random, so I don't know. That sums up my thoughts about the Dendro element, and I would love to hear your ideas, discussions, and otherwise kind words in the comments. If you happen to be a fan of live streams, I would invite you to enjoy some games with me on Twitch. Link is in the description. So, that's it from me. Last words, update 1.1 will be amazing. Bye.